Philippians chapter 1:19 tells us this: you have not only been called to believe in Jesus, but you have also been called to suffer for him. Obedience is costly, but it is worth it. Obedience is costly, but it is what we are called to, and even more than that, it is what we have been created for. Don't let anyone tell you that if you're being obedient, everything will be as you want it to be. If you're being obedient, it will be as God desires it, but it will often be different than we expected it. See, the comforting part for us should be that Jesus was overwhelmed just like we are. But the challenging part is that Jesus didn't just pray for the cup to be taken away. He prayed for God's will to be done. And he showed us that even Jesus had moments when his requests did not match God's plans. And that may be where we divide from God the most. When what we're asking is not what he's been planning. When the way we want his will to be done is not the way he planned to work his will for his glory and even for our good. Do we press into him, or do we just keep pleading for him to do what we want him to do? What if all our peace, all our prosperity, all God's promises are found or are waiting for us to pray one simple word: nevertheless? I think we've done a good job teaching the intimacy of prayer, of teaching that God is our Father, that he always hears us. We can pour our hearts out to him, that we can ask him anything and should ask him everything. But I'm not as sure that we've done a good job with teaching that the purpose of prayer, the outcome of prayer, that the power of prayer is not that we can move God, but that we surrender to God. See, at its most base point, prayer is an acknowledgement of our weakness and a declaration of our dependence upon God. If we could do it, we wouldn't need to pray about it, right? If we understood it all, we wouldn't need to ask him to show us what was going on. If we had the power within us, we wouldn't need to ask for his power to work through us. Prayer is an acknowledgement of our weakness, and it is a declaration of our dependence upon God. So prayer begins with us sharing our need, sharing our desire, and sharing our heart with God. But it does not truly become powerful until we declare our submission to God's will and our trust in his character. The most important word in prayer is nevertheless, because that word lays down our will and prepares our hearts to obey God's will. What Jesus shows us is, it's not about praying for what you desire, it's about submitting to what he wills. And the strength and the courage and the faith and the joy that comes, it comes when we surrender, not when we plead. So always ask, but make sure you submit. The important part of prayer is the submission. Bring all your needs, bring all your petitions, ask for your daily bread. But in the end of it all, make sure that you have submitted, not my will, but yours be done. Because that's when courage comes. Some of you, I've been praying with you for things for years. Please, 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 let's not just pray for the thing we understand. Let's pray for the will of God to be accomplished. We are allowed to ask him, God, build that building. God, heal that body. God, bring that spouse. God, change that situation. God, accomplish but God, change the thing I don't understand. But what we have to pray at the end of it all is, accomplish your will. Because I only see in part, and I don't know as much as I think